Hello, and welcome to our class. This is an online class for Physical Science 1. Now, Physical Science 1 covers physics and astronomy. There's also a second semester of this course that covers chemistry, geology, and meteorology. So the two semesters together cover quite a lot of different aspects of physical science. And actually, they can be taken in any order that you want. You don't have to have Physical Science 1 in order to take Physical Science 2. You can take them in order, out of order. You could even take them at the same time if you really wanted to. But either way, this is going to be Physical Science 1. And I wanted to make this video to kind of show you how this class is going to work. Some of you may have taken lots of online classes before. You may already know everything that you need to know, but this could be your very first online class, and I want to make sure that you understand how we handle online classes at Northwest and how this class specifically is going to be set up and what you're going to need to do. Now, what I have done here is I have taken a snapshot of our Canvas shell for the course. So when you log into Canvas and you go to the Physical Science 1 course, you'll see this and some other things. There is some stuff down below, like down below I have my office hours and some other information, contact information and so forth. But what I really wanted to show you is this stuff over on the left, because these are the links that you're going to need to be able to navigate in order to do the different things in the course that you're going to need to do. Okay, the most important link in the list of links over here on the left is the modules link. And I've shown you where the modules link is in particular because that's where the heart of our course lives. All the different assignments, the things that you're supposed to do, you're going to find them in the modules. So when you log into Canvas, you're going to see the home page, and like I said, you'll be able to see my office hours and all those other things. But the next thing you're going to want to do is go over to the modules, because that's where the assignments that you're going to have to complete every week are going to be located. So what I'm showing you here is the top of the modules page as it is currently. And what you'll see is at the top of the modules page is the Watch Me First video. And that's this video right here. You are watching this video first because this is showing you what to do in the course. Right below the Watch Me First video is the syllabus and course outline. Now, at Northwest, we do basically two different syllabi. Actually, both of those plurals are correct if you're curious. In any case, we have the standard course syllabus, and what that does is it outlines all the Northwest policies. Things like the Northwest Absence Policy, things like the Americans with Disability Act information and how that applies to classes at Northwest. All of those things that are the same for every single class offered by Northwest is found in the standard course syllabus for that class. Then we also have the specific course outline, and that shows you the policies and information that are specific to the course. So for example, in the course outline, you'll find out about the textbook that we will be reading. You'll find out, due dates of different assignments. All that kind of thing is located in the course outline. And of course, the most important thing that students want to know, the grading scale. How are you going to be graded in the class? That's also found in the course outline. Now, I may add a couple of things in this between the time I make this video and the class is actually published, so don't be confused if it's a little different. But basically, these are the things you're going to find at the top of the modules. You're going to find the Watch Me First video, and then the syllabus and course outline. Now, there's something else here, and this is new for Northwest. We used to have this huge module of lots of different links of different things that are important for you to know about an online class, and the students really didn't like it because it was kind of confusing and time-consuming. And so we sort of streamlined that, and we have this, essentially it's a little quiz, and it's a tutorial/quiz that lets you find out the most important things you need to know about online classes at Northwest, and then you have to take this little quiz. You have to do this before you can complete any other assignments in the course. So it's very important that you do this, because what this does is it gives you an access code. And it's an access code specifically for your online classes at Northwest. Now, I'm not 100% sure, but from what I understand, if you're taking multiple online classes, at least right now, you'll have the same access code. So once you get your access code, it'll be the same for all your classes. So you can use that same access code to access your other classes if you need to. In any case, let me make sure that this is clear. Let me say it one more time. In order to complete any assignments, you must first find the access code through this module, which is in the modules page. And you can say it's 1, 2, it's the third thing down in the modules page. Now, if you are actually in your Canvas modules page, if you were to scroll down below these, you would find additional modules. And I'll show you some of the other modules in just a minute. But there is one other very important thing. There's actually a second access code you need, and that's an access code for the homework system. Next to the modules page, the most important link over here on the left is the red shelf. The red shelf is where you find the access code for the MyLab and Mastering homework system. And you can see the link for the MyLab and Mastering homework system is right here. Down below it is the red shelf. You have to go to the red shelf in order to get the access code. So if you email me in a couple of days going, I don't know how to find the access code, I'm going to know that you didn't watch this video, because I think it's very clear. You have two access codes you need to get. You need to get the access code from the Canvas module for the whole class, and then you need to get the access code at Red Shelf to enable you to do the homework assignments on the MyLab and Mastering link. Okay? Now there's one other important thing on the Red Shelf, and that's your textbook. Your textbook is an electronic or an ebook, and it comes with the class. So you don't have to go buy an additional textbook. You already have paid for it in your tuition. If you've taken many science classes, you might have seen that the cost of science textbooks has gotten a little bit crazy. I mean, especially if you're a science major and you're taking 2 or 3 science courses and maybe a math class or 2, these textbooks can be $200 to $300 each. We were having students at Northwest that were actually paying more for their textbooks than they were paying for their tuition. Northwest is a great deal tuition-wise, by the way, but in any case, in order to sort of fix that problem, we went to the publishers and we made deals with them. Where possible, we include the textbooks with the class. And so since we're buying the textbooks in bulk, and since we're buying electronic versions of the textbooks, they bundle them much cheaper, and so we can incorporate the cost in your tuition, and you don't have to spend hundreds of extra dollars on a textbook just to take the class. But in order to get the textbook, you're going to have to click on the Red Shelf link. That's where you'll find your textbook. All right, so let me pause for a moment and ask you, if you've been paying attention, you should be able to answer this. What are the 2 things found on the Red Shelf link? The answer is the access code for the MyLab Mastering homework system, and the second thing is your ebook, the textbook for the class. You're going to find those right here on the Red Shelf. Now, I've already talked about these modules that are on the top of the modules page. If you scroll down a little bit, you'll see the modules that have the course content. So here is, for example, Module 4. So there'd be Module 1, Module 2, Module 3, above Module 4. But if I've scrolled down to Module 4, and I've taken a little snapshot here, and you can see the different things that are right here in Module 4. So, for example, at the top, you see the Module 4 instructions. So each week you're going to have a new module. We're going to complete one module every week. And in that module, there will always be instructions for the module at the top. And what that instructions page will do is it gives you your reading assignment. It talks about the different topics that are going to be covered. And it also gives you all the other assignments that you need to complete that week. It gives you a summary, it's sort of a checklist so that you can make sure that you've done everything you're supposed to do. Now, down below the instructions, you see a PowerPoint and a video, another PowerPoint and another video. The PowerPoints and the videos are the lecture part of the class. This is an online class, but there's still a lecture. And these are PowerPoints and videos that I made to present the content that I think is most important. Now, there's a caveat there. You've got two things that you have to do to get content. You have to first read in your textbook. And where's the reading assignment? Right here in the module instructions. Then, after you read the chapter in the textbook, you're going to want to print out the PowerPoints and watch the lecture videos that go with the PowerPoints. Now, don't just watch the videos. Don't just put them on and have them on in the background while you're doing other things. You will get nothing out of them that way. You have the PowerPoints printed out. You need to sit in front of the videos, watch them, and take notes. If you're not taking notes, there's no way that you're going to remember everything in those videos. And you are going to want to do that because you have to do homework and you have to have a test on each chapter. So it's very important that you take good notes. And I've provided you with the PowerPoints that you can print out to help you take the notes. So, it's not that an onerous burden to take notes. But actually, I'm also going to suggest you take notes in the reading assignments that you find in the instructions, because our textbook has a lot of information in it. And here's the thing. Some of the stuff that's in the textbook is not in the videos. And some of the stuff that's in the videos is not in the textbook. So you need to do both. You need to read the chapter, you need to watch the videos, and you should be taking notes on both. Now, in addition to the lecture videos, there's another set of videos in the supplemental videos page. Each chapter, or at least most of the chapters, will have a supplemental videos page with some extra short little videos. These are some of the videos that are provided by the publisher of our textbook, and they include some demonstrations, some clarifications of important points, and maybe a different way of looking at some of the things I've talked about in the lecture videos, but they're very important. Now, there's no PowerPoint that goes with them. Most of these videos are like you may get to this page and see 10 videos, so you're like, oh my God, there's 10 more videos to watch, but each one might be just a minute or two. Maybe there's one that's 5 minutes and the rest are 2 or 3 minutes. So it's really not as bad as it sounds. So if you get to this page and you see lots of videos, don't freak out. They're pretty short. But just because they're short doesn't mean they're not important. I wouldn't put them on the page if they weren't important. It's important information for you to get. And as you watch these videos, what else should you do? Here's a hint. It's called taking notes. Are you getting the idea that I think that taking notes is really important? It really is. It's essential that you take good notes for getting the most out of this class. But that is the content. So you're going to have reading assignment, you're going to have lecture videos with PowerPoints, and you're going to have supplemental videos. Once you have done that, once you've watched all the videos and done your reading assignment and taken all the notes that you're going to take, then you can do the homework. Now, here we see the Chapter 4 assignment, and that is in the MyLab and Mastering. Now, you could actually click on the MyLab and Mastering link to go to the homework, but you don't have to do that. It's right here in the module. If you click on the Chapter 4 assignment, it'll take you right to the Mastering Physics. Now, if you have not logged in before, it's going to ask you for an access code. Once you log in to start doing the homework, where do you get the access code? Do you remember? It's right here in the red shelf. So when you do the very first assignment in Chapter 1, you click on the assignment and it's going to ask for that access code. You'll get it from the red shelf and you can just cut and paste it into the program, and then you'll be able to do the homework. And by the way, you only have to enter it one time. You don't have to enter it every single time you log in, just that first time. Also, please make sure that when you're doing the homework, you're accessing it from Canvas. Don't go to the Mastering Physics website and try to log in there. It will not work out well for you. All the grades are synced through Canvas, but you have to go through Canvas to access these assignments. So you can notice also that there is a Chapter 4 assignment with essay questions. There are some other things too, but that's where I've put some of the essay questions. But note the magic words, extra credit. I don't have extra credit in every module, but in a lot of modules, there are also going to be extra credit assignments. You don't have to do them. They don't count against you if you don't do them, but I really strongly recommend that you do them. They give you a boost to your grade, and they reinforce a lot of the important material in the chapter. So I strongly recommend that you do the extra credit assignments when they're available, but that'll be up to you. And then lastly, there's a test. Now, this is a test taken in Canvas. And so every week you're going to cover a new chapter. You're going to get the lecture content. You're going to do the homework. And then you're going to take a test. The tests are timed, generally 30 minutes to an hour, depending on how long the test is. And you're going to basically, once you start the test, you'll have to answer some questions. So you actually need to study for the test before you take it, because it is a timed test. You're not necessarily going to have time to flip through your PowerPoints or scroll up in the book and figure out where everything is. But it is open book. It is open notes. I just ask that you do it yourself. Please do it yourself. Don't cheat. It's not that hard. I think you'll find the test very straightforward. Do the work, pass the test. It's that easy. Now, in addition to all of these online tests in the module, we at Northwest have a policy for in-person tests as well. We give an in-person proctored midterm exam and an in-person proctored final exam. Proctored means there's somebody there watching you to make sure that you're not cheating. And the in-person exams count for 50% of your class grade. So if you cheat and you have someone else do these chapter tests for you, you are going to not pass the class because you're not going to know how to answer the questions on the proctored test and the proctored final. But you will find it pretty straightforward if you do the work you're supposed to do. And I'll talk more about the final exam and about the midterm when they're closer. But for now, I just want you to be aware that there will be a proctored midterm and a proctored final exam. The next thing that I want to talk about is the attendance policy for the class. At Northwest Mississippi Community College, we have an attendance policy for every class. And basically what it means is that you must attend class and you're only allowed to miss so many classes before you get kicked out of the class. Typically, you're allowed to miss 2 weeks worth of class before you are kicked out of the class. And so in an in-person class, it's pretty straightforward what a proper attendance is. If you show up for the class, you're present and you're marked present. If you don't show up for the class, you're marked absent. And so for a class that meets 3 times a week, that means you're allowed to miss 6 classes. And if you miss the 7th class, you're kicked out of the class. That's just how the attendance policy works at Northwest for in-person classes. Now, what about online classes? The way we define attendance in an online class is that you must complete and submit 1 assignment per week to be marked present that week. And so you saw on the previous page in Module 4 for Week 4 that there was an assignment that you had to turn in on the Mastering Physics, and then there was a Chapter 4 test you had to take. If you do either of those 2 things, you'll be marked present in Week 4. If you do none of those things, even if you watch the videos, you will not be marked present if you don't submit work. You must submit at least 1 assignment that week to be marked present that week. And if you don't do any assignment for a week, you'll be marked absent. If there's another week in the semester that you don't do any work, you'll be marked absent again. And if it happens a 3rd time, you get withdrawn from the class. So let me recap. Every week, you must complete at least 1 assignment. That says on assignment. It should be 1 assignment in order to be marked present that week. If you complete no assignments in a week, you'll be marked absent for that week. If you have more than 2 absences in a semester, you will be withdrawn from the course. Also, and this is important, you must complete an assignment the first week of class, or you'll be reported as a no-show. And then if you're reported as a no-show that first week, you'll be withdrawn from the course. Now, one of the first assignments that we have to do is a discussion board. You have to go to the discussion board and you have to introduce yourself and answer a couple of questions about yourself. If you will just go do your discussion board like right now, then you're going to be marked present for the week. Even if you don't do any of if you got sick or whatever happened, you couldn't do any more assignments this week, you would be marked present. But if you don't do anything this week, you're going to be marked as a no-show and you'll be withdrawn from the course. So make sure that you do some work this week and try to do all the assignments every week. Obviously, you want to do well in the course, but if something happens and you can't do all of your assignments, at least try to do something so that you won't be marked absent. Okay, here's another thing that you'll find on the Canvas homepage for our class. Down below what I showed you on the previous slides, you'll find some of my contact information and also my schedule. Now, you can see my email address and you can see my office phone number. If you call me and I'm not there, you can leave a message and I'll try to get back to you as soon as I can. But actually, my preferred method for contact is email. So if you have an issue, send me an email and I'll try to get back to you as fast as I can. And I generally try to respond within a day. So let me know if you have any issues. I'll try to help you if I can. If it's a problem with something in the class that's not clear, I can actually make a little video like this and answer your question. We could arrange to meet on Zoom, or you could even come in person to my in-person office hours if you're on campus. But I just wanted to let you know when I'm available. And so here you can see a copy of my schedule, and highlighted are my office hours. So you should be able to call me during these times, and I should be in my office, and you should be able to get a hold of me. Now, I actually have a little room next to my office. When in-person students come by, I usually will take them to that little room. So if you call me and I don't answer right away, just leave a message and I'll try to get back to you as soon as possible. But the office hours are the best times to contact me by phone. You can shoot me an email anytime and I'll respond as quickly as possible. And if necessary, we can set up an appointment. If you work during these times and you can't get a hold of me then, just let me know and I'll make an appointment with you so that you can get the help that you need. And last but not least, I wanted to go over the grading policy for the class. So what we have is 4 different things. We have the chapter assignments, and that's in the physical science version of Mastering Physics. So the chapter assignments all together account for 15% of your grade. And then we have some discussion boards in Canvas, and that is the class discussions part of the course. There are a few of these over the course of the semester. Generally, there's some questions that you have to answer, and then you have to respond to some of the answers of some of your classmates, and there's some back and forth that goes on. And so we have some discussion topics where you have to participate, and all of those discussion board questions, they account for 10% of your grade. And then, of course, so we've got the homework assignments, we've got the class discussions, then we have the end of chapter tests, and all of those end of chapter tests count for 25% of your grade. And then finally, there's the midterm and final exam. Now, these are the proctored tests that I talked about. You have to physically come on campus and take these exams, and they account for 50% of your grade. Now, this is an online class, and you may not live near any of the Northwest campuses. If that's the case, we have the ability to set up proctoring someplace close to you. And so I'm going to explain how that works later on in the semester. But most of the students in this class are Northwest students, and so they'll just come to one of the Northwest campuses and take their midterm and final as a proctored exam. And that's basically it. That's the nuts and bolts of how this course works. There'll be some more things we'll get later as the course evolves, but I wanted you to have enough information so that you can get started. And so I hope that everyone has a great semester and that you find the material that I'm presenting for you in this class to be very straightforward. But please reach out to me if you're struggling. Please reach out to me if you have, maybe you're not struggling, but there's one little thing that you just don't quite understand. Shoot me an email. I'll help you get it sorted out. I'm going to be very available to support you and help you be successful in my class. I really want everyone to be successful in my class. So please let me know if there's anything that I can do to help you. And so I will let you go, but I hope that we all have a great semester together. I look forward to getting to know you, and I look forward to teaching you and helping you learn this really cool stuff that we cover in this class, physical science.